Balls are not only known as a vulnerability for men, they also pose an intriguing mystery when discovered in unexpected locations. Crafting a perfect sphere is a challenging feat, which is why finding them in odd places often fuels speculation about extraterrestrial origins. However, the story extends beyond the simplistic notion of green Martians meticulously shaping these orbs. Let's dive into the deeper mysteries surrounding these spherical enigmas. Number 10. 5,000-year-old stone spheres. The next collection of spheres I'm about to discuss might just capture your interest. They are stone spheres, each varying in size and depth of carving. Remarkably, some suggest that these spheres demonstrate knowledge of the five Platonic solids centuries before Plato even described them. These artifacts have been dated to over a millennium before Plato's time, marking them as one of the most puzzling archaeological discoveries of the century. These spherical objects were unearthed across Ireland, Britain, and Scotland, with origins tracing back to the Iron Age. Each sphere features knobs of varying sizes, and by 2015, over 430 have been cataloged. Intriguingly, some are adorned with symbols that continue to mystify researchers. The prevalence of these spheres suggests that many more may still be found. The stones have been categorized into three distinct groups based on their designs: spirals, straight lines of varying sizes, and concentric circles. While the exact meanings of these designs are still under investigation, it seems likely that their significance is intertwined with ancient practices and beliefs, hinting at a deeper cultural or ceremonial purpose. Number 9. Tucson and purple balls. Wow! A mystery in the United States that doesn't involve the ocean or Area 51, trust me, I'm thinking the same thing. These glass-like purple balls were found in a Tucson, Arizona desert just 4 years ago. The group of balls were found when a woman and her husband were on a nature walk through the area. The woman claimed they glistened in the sun and they were virtually impossible to miss. So, how did everyone pass up this small patch of purple, and how come no one can find out what they are? Reports and scientists couldn't come to a conclusion, but it was reported that they were a gooey light, consistency, quite transparent, and glowed. A local botanist suggested that they could be a recurring jelly fungus because of the plants that surround the area. Another mentioned that there are hydration balls for plants that are man-made, but no one could confirm if these were of that origin. What do you think they are? Number 8. Metal balls found in the deep sea. In 2015, a German research vessel was navigating the waters a few hundred miles from Barbados when its crew stumbled upon an intriguing discovery: numerous metal lumps scattered across the deep sea floor. While deploying a mesh to capture marine life for study, their net inadvertently ensnared several of these large spherical objects. These metal spheres, roughly the size of a softball but capable of growing as large as a bowling ball, were soon identified as manganese nodules. Such formations are not uncommon. Indeed, they are found in every ocean around the world. Occasionally, these nodules take on unusual shapes, resembling pancakes, adding to their mystique. Manganese nodules grow exceptionally slowly, with their size increasing less than a centimeter every million years. Despite their abundance on the ocean floor, they typically don't attract much scientific excitement. However, their origins remain somewhat enigmatic. While some scientists propose that these nodules form through chemical reactions facilitated by microbes in seawater, others remain uncertain of this explanation. For now, the true genesis of these manganese spheres continues to elude definitive explanation, leaving room for more imaginative theories, perhaps even extraterrestrial ones. Number 7. The Klerksdorp Spheres. 2.8 billion years is a long time. The fact that we've been able to find items from this long ago with etchings still engraved on them is even crazier. Originally found in South Africa around 1984, the spheres are fibrous on the insides while being extremely tough on the outside. They're so tough steel won't even scratch them. There are some specialists that have studied the spheres and noted that they're naturally formed due to a process called concretion. The grooves are also believed to be natural in origin and represent fine-grained lamentations within, which the concretions grew. They're mineral matter that becomes hardened over time. Because these out-of-place artifacts are so unusual, lots of people believe they could only have been manufactured by intelligent beings. Furthermore, an anonymous and unverified letter after the discovery was made, public stated that the spheres were tested in a space institute in California and concluded that they were near perfect. However, since the letter was unverified and the original researcher could see that they were not as perfect as the letter stated, the idea of aliens is really far-fetched. I personally think they look like groovy alien croquet balls, but hey, I'm not the expert here. Number 6. Costa-Rican stone balls. Many years ago, during an era when photography was predominantly in black and white, a couple ventured into the jungles of Costa Rica on a scientific expedition. There, they encountered an array of perfectly rounded spheres, varying in size from a few inches to as much as 8 feet in diameter. Intrigued by these formations, they sought insights from a knowledgeable individual at a nearby banana plantation. They learned that these spheres dated back to prehistoric times and were imbued with significant meanings. The spheres were strategically placed for purposes that were both cosmic and ritualistic, as well as for astronomical observations. Remarkably, their positioning had remained unaltered since their inception. It was speculated that these enigmatic spheres had been carved from lava, a theory suggested by their informant who, while not a trained modern researcher, provided the best explanation available at the time for the origins of these fascinating objects. Number 5. Betz Mystery Sphere. For this next mystery, the two extremes of what it could be include doomsday device or aliens, depending on who you are. Neither one may sound pleasing. A family with a last name of Betz came across this mystery sphere in 1974, and it was apparently metallic, seamless, and self-propelled. They stumbled upon this orb after looking through the damage a bushfire had caused to a very large area of woodland that they had just purchased at Fort George Island in Jacksonville, Florida. Finding the orb wasn't the only mystery thing the trio had gone through. In fact, one of the Betz sons strummed his guitar and noticed that the perfectly seamless balls started to hum and vibrate much like a tuning fork. While it was inaudible to the naked ear, their dog was deeply upset by the sound. After having the sphere in their home for quite some time, they noted that the weather changed how active the ball's frequencies were. They then thought up a slew of experiments to trigger these sounds coming from this sphere, as well as finding that it could spin itself upwards when slanted certain ways. The family even put it in a box so it couldn't escape at night because it could self-propel. That's when they hit the local news stations to get the word out. They wanted answers. UFO specialists, Marines, and the government wanted to know what the sphere was, and this family didn't want to give it up for. They believed it could have been seized. Their home actually began to become haunted, and organ sound would swallow their home day in and day out. While the Navy concluded it wasn't explosive, the origin and the reasoning behind the existence of this ball is still a mystery to this day. Number 4. Russian Champ Island Stone Spheres. Discovered in the remote and icy expanses of Russia's Champ Island, a group of researchers stumbled upon large, perfectly spherical stones hidden beneath what were once glaciers, now melted. The origin of these stones remains elusive, with each geologist presenting their own theory upon examination. These mysterious spheres, still partly submerged in the frigid waters, possess an organic core and bear the appearance of exceptionally smooth boulders. One geologist posited that they are simply the result of sedimentary material accumulating over time. While this explanation might be the most plausible, it admittedly lacks the allure of a more dramatic origin story that many might hope for in such a captivating discovery. Number 3. Massive Bosnia Sphere. An archaeologist by the name of Samir Osmanic, who is also known as the Bosnian Indiana Jones, found this stone ball in the Vasco Valley and believes that it has no ties to any specific civilization that once lived. The stone ball, which measures 9 feet across, is definitely not of extraterrestrial origin either, but was born because of the concretion process we learned about a few balls ago. While not the most interesting story, it would be a pretty cool thing to stumble upon in a forest. Number 2. Ancient Temple Orbs. This next group of balls sounds like they're straight out of a video game. Deep beneath a pyramid in the wonderful Mexico City, a mass of ancient temple orbs were found by archaeologists. George Zavala stated that the orbs lie deep under the pre-Hispanic city and township of Teotihuacan, a civilization that was once the biggest in the world at only 100,000 residents. Unfortunately, they'd all abandoned it in 700 AD with no reasons left behind. It's believed that the balls were once used for religious reasons, as the city's name translates directly to the place where men become gods. In fact, the civilization worshiped not one, not two, but 8 gods. The material of the orbs are noted as fool's gold, with the coloring coming from jarosites, even though we still don't know what their formal meaning is. The translated name of the town alone could make a pretty good movie. Number 1. Andean Sky Balls. Are you getting bored of balls yet? I hope not, because I've got a few more mysterious ones to show you. Earlier this year, reports surfaced from Russia, Peru, and Britain about these spherical objects falling from the sky. Meteors, you might guess. Think again. These were perfectly shaped metal balls, and they're hefty enough to be lethal if they were to strike someone. As word spread on social media, communities from various regions began to pool their footage, aiming to track down the exact origins of these sky-fallen spheres. Officials have labeled them as meteorites, but given their precise shape and material, it seems they might just be downplaying the situation to avoid public panic. Could these be projectiles from extraterrestrial sources? I'm half joking, but really, the usual explanation of space debris burning up in our atmosphere and forming these perfectly unique shapes doesn't quite satisfy. Similar spheres have been spotted globally, including in Australia, the United States, and even a small village in Spain, stirring up considerable confusion and excitement. They all share a similar appearance, but they're just too perfect to be dismissed as ordinary space debris. More credible reports suggest these spheres are likely space junk, components from satellites that have either crashed or broken off. For instance, one found in the Namibian desert was identified as a hydrazine tank from an unmanned rocket, a common piece in satellite launches. What do you think? Can you offer a better explanation for these spherical enigmas, or have you encountered any yourself? Drop your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thanks for watching.